Alright everybody, this is Sal the KJman back with a retro review, and this is a review of a piece of hardware this time. We are going to review the Amiga 500's Classic 520 Accelerator, and it is a 32-bit accelerator that attaches to the sidecar expansion on the Amiga 500 or on the Amiga 1000. So this is a little bit of a close-up look at the Classic 520. I ordered this from Amiga Computer Sales and or Amiga, however you want to pronounce it. It's a really good company, and they do a nice job for customer service and getting your stuff to you quickly. It's a little more expensive than some of the other stores, but well worth the time. And they have this nice case that they make for it, as you can see, this white case here. So you know, this is a nice little unit, and I just wanted to give you a little bit of a close-up look before we continued the review here, and just let you know that you know, where to get it and what to do. So here it is. I hope I hope this helps a little bit. This unit, it has a 68020 running at about 28 megahertz, and it has 8 megs of fast RAM. It has a flash ROM in it for faster OS calls, so you can flash your OS ROM into it, and it'll move quicker on the desktop, among other things. Also has a compact flash slot for your hard drive usage. It also has a hot swappable SD card port, and you can pop an SD card into it using the FAT95 drivers for the Amiga, and it will read directly, and it is hot swappable. And also it has a 40 pin IDE port inside in case you want to hook and it's set to the secondary ID on the IDE port. So the compact flash slot is the primary ID, and the secondary is the 40-pin IDE port for, say, a CD-ROM, or among other things. So it's a pretty nice little unit, and it seems to retail for about $250, give or take. And I think I spent $300 on it, but I also ordered the case from it. I got it from Amiga Computer, which is one of the best places that I would order Amiga stuff from. They are usually pretty good about getting things back in stock, and they're also good about getting it shipped quickly. I've dealt with a few other places that just weren't as good at that, so I got to plug them. And the Classic 520 is just a really good unit. So let's go ahead and delve right into it. I've got it connected to the Amiga now, and we'll go ahead and go into there. And we'll turn the machine on here. There, it came up with this. Now, if you hold the left mouse button when you boot the machine up, it will go to the options screen for the Classic 520, and that options screen is pretty handy. It allows you to enable or disable the Motorola 68020 in favor of your original Motorola 68000 that's built into the system. It also allows you to enable or disable the 8 megs of fast RAM, among other things. You can also turn the internal OS flash ROM on or off, so that you can use the original one inside your 500. So there's a lot of options here. It's very, very nice. And so, as you can see, my desktop has popped up. So we're going to go ahead and pop up here. I'm going to start with showing you some benchmarks on sysinfo. And I believe sysinfo is in here somewhere. Let me see here. Well, maybe it's not in there. Maybe it's in the other folder, tools folder. Nope, not in there. No, it must be in the other one. Okay. I probably missed it somewhere when I was looking. There it is, sysinfo. And we'll bring that right up here. Now, we're gonna do the things so that we can get the information on it. And since we're dealing with, and I'm going to change position there so that that moves up there, and that way you guys can see all the internal hardware modes once I click on it. So I'm going to go speed here, and it's going to let us know what everything's doing. And there it is. And as you can see, it's comparing it to the other Amigas, so on and so forth. It says it's running it. It says it's running it. It's supposed to run at 28 megahertz, but it's actually running at 31.6. This particular one, and I'm sure they have different units that come out. Maybe give or take. Usually it's a minimum of 28 megahertz, but sometimes they can pop a little more out of them when they clock them. So it can run. This thing can run in PAL or NTSC, it doesn't matter. As you can see, I've got 2 megs of chip RAM in my Amiga 500 Plus that I'm running it on, and I'm running it in NTSC since I'm here in the United States. And as you can see, the instruction cache is turned on for the 68020, and it's just basically giving your basic information there. And we'll go click on memory. And as you can see, it's got it says fast RAM. So it's got 8 megabytes of fast RAM, 24-bit, which is your standard OS fast RAM. And then we'll click over. It's got 2 megabytes of chip RAM built into the machine. And we'll just kind of go back here, and we'll do the drives here. Now the drives, I'm not sure how accurate this thing is. I'm not sure how accurate these things are, but if I click to read the speed, it sits here and it says speed in second. 2,639,000. Et cetera. But if I go to some of my other drives, you'll see 3,276,000, and the reason is I'm using the professional file system on the extended drives, and I'm using the original fast file system on the boot drive on DH0. So there you go for that. That's the readings that we get from sysinfo, and we'll go ahead and quit here. And that gives us a little bit of information right there. We'll go ahead and load up. I'm gonna. Oops. There we go. We'll bring up the multimedia folder, which is where my mod files are at, and you'll be able to see how fast it loads things and how fast it does. It does directory searches and everything else, because as you know, if you've had any experience with Octomid Professional, it takes forever to bring up a directory sometimes. So as you can see, it just brought that up in no time flat. I click on the directory with my mods in it, which I have quite a few in there. And then we'll go to the faves folder, which is where all my favorites are at, and we'll click on a song. Now let's go ahead and load up something fun here. Let's load up Stardust Memories. That's always a good one. And, load the song, and as you can see, it just flat moves. This thing just flat moves. It's great. I mean, he's timed these boards perfectly. Of course, playing back music is not a big deal with an accelerator. I mean, the Amiga plays back music no problem at 8 megahertz, so that's not really showing anything off. But at least I'm just kind of going through the paces with this unit here, so that we can see what it's all about. Let's go into the games and demos here. We'll go into the WHD load folder, And we'll load one that actually has problems with the original Motorola 68000, and that's Obliterator. And if anybody's ever played Obliterator, you know that the game is slower than snail snot when it comes to running on a stock Amiga 500. It's always been that way, and that's just the way the game was written. So you're about to see it move a lot quicker. So let's go ahead and delve into that here real quick. Let's see. And if you've seen any of my other reviews, you'll see that I reviewed Obliterator at one point, and I did it on this accelerator. So, and we should be able to get it booted up here in just a second. Come on. Here we go. As you can see, the screen draws are really fast. And it's moving through pretty quick there through the title screen and stuff. Now, one of the things I have noticed about this game on other accelerators is there's some accelerators where the game, the music glitches out really badly, especially on the title screen here. And I noticed that on this particular title screen, it doesn't. Well, there was a little glitch there just for a second, but yeah, it seems to be pretty clean for the most part. So, if we change positions there so that I can see what I'm doing. That's good. Okay, alright, so we're going to kind of move through the bases here. Actually, let's move this way. As you can see, his animation is nice and fluid and smooth. And makes the game much more playable than it originally was. The nice thing about this accelerator, though, as I have noticed, is it seems to be very, very compatible with older stuff that did have problems with accelerators at one point in time or another. And that was a mistake there. They shouldn't have done that. There we go. So this accelerator is very nice. It is very smooth. It is very, very well constructed. Irix Labs, I think, is the name of the company that made it, and they've done a wonderful job with it. And the guy, I think his name's Victor, that runs that company, is just a smart man. And I'm not really trying to play the game; I'm just kind of farting around with it here, so you guys can see. But as you can see, it's very well done. This accelerator. It's very nice to see something come out like this, because this is the accelerator I always wanted when I was a kid. This is always the one that this is the kind of accelerator I would have loved to have had back in the day. Unfortunately, they weren't always around. And let's see, can I get anything here? There we go. And we'll go ahead and stop the game there. So we'll go ahead and throw that in there. Now, I'll show you a couple others that have problems with accelerators usually. We'll go into the demos folder here, because some demos just don't like accelerators, and everybody knows that. So I'm going to bring up the Rink-a-Dink redo that they did in 2013, which is an excellent demo. There it is right there. And that one has problems with accelerators. It seems to glitch out really badly, and but on this accelerator it actually does a really good job. So we'll go ahead and load that up. And well, it's kind of a larger program, so. As you can see, it's booted up just fine, and it's running just fine. And as you've noticed, I'm sure that this accelerator does load things quickly. I mean, it does a good job. mean, it loads these games and programs and everything else just fast off the CF card. It does a great job. Now, here's one of the glitches that always appeared, where the plasma was always glitched out with an accelerator, if you ran it on an accelerator. And so, and as you can see here, it's not glitching at all, which is kind of nice. Yeah, it's just beautiful. So. This is probably one of the best solutions for an accelerator that I've ever come across for the Amiga 500. If you're into classic Amiga 500 gaming, and you're not into, you know, AGA and all that stuff. I mean, if you're really looking for something that accelerates the original chipset, you know, the enhanced chipset, this is the way to go. You know, if you're looking for AGA, you know, AGA machines already have accelerators in them, and they seem to have problems a lot of times. This one just does a great job, and it's just solid as a rock, and it's a no-brainer to set it up. It's real simple and easy. So, you know, it's one of my highest recommendations. This piece of hardware. Not enough people have paid attention to this accelerator, in my opinion. There's been very few reviews on it. And it is just a solid little unit, you know, as you can see here. I love this. This is a great demo. This is another part that glitches out with accelerators usually, but as you can see, it's running beautifully. Usually right before we see this part, it just crashes the program on accelerators, and it's working great here. You know, this thing is just so compatible. And I'm not even running it in 68,000 mode. I'm running it in 68020 mode at the normal speed that it's set to, and it's running like a champ. But we'll never forget to bow before the rock lobster. I love that. So yeah, this is a very nice accelerator. It just runs really well, and I have yet to get it to really crash and burn all that much. You know, I don't know really what else to point out about it, except that it's just really a solid unit. And I would try Amiga computers. Amiga or Amidia, or however it's pronounced, but it is a great little store that it sells online, and so check that out. And just kind of go and take a look at it. I think you'd really enjoy this. This is worth it for anybody who's into legacy Amiga gaming. This is the unit to have. The Witcher and all those others, they don't even compare to this. I've had The Terrible Fire, I've had The Witcher, I've had a couple others, and they just don't even compare to this unit. It's not even close. So go ahead and check it out, and I hope that gives you guys a little insight on something cool here. And so I'm going to wrap it up and say, everybody, keep gaming.